I have methods to get them in.
Good.
It's called my claws.
And hello,
Raptors
everyone. We are live.
Raptors
Hello.
like we have ways of making you watch stream.
Yes.
Wait, Raptors Ruski?
That's what the R stands for in Raptor.
It's all
Yeah,
Citation
the
needs.
it's all making sense now. Unbelievable. Oh yeah, I should probably tag everyone for it too. No, not direct messages. You guys know that we're live.
I know you're live.
Wait, there's a stream today?
What?
There's a stream today? What are we streaming?
Hello, Mr. Shadier. We have ways of
Hello.
making what stream. Belarusian Raptors. Best Raptor.
Instead of like a roar or a screech, it's just a hard bass line.
Hello, the father. Hello, Cricket. How are y'all doing?
You know what they say. Whoa, whoa. They say he's got to go. Go, go. Godzilla.
Yeah, I heard you, but yeah. Is this game any good? I have no idea. I never played it. But if it's going by the game and the story, then no, it is not.
According to James Rolfe, it's not good.
Yeah.
And I've never played it.
Oh, I trust James. So, because I mean, like from what I understand, this one's actually kind of popular. But to me, this is just the epitome of one going, and then this happened, and then this happened. So, okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
on the bright side, it's better than Sonic.exe, but
Oh yeah.
anything can be better than Sonic.exe. So
Especially the remake. He held the knife like it was a weapon.
Did you actually say that in there?
Yeah.
Ordered a large pepperoni pizza and sat down to watch The Dark Knight on Netflix.
Oh, what are you
Yeah,
waiting
there's
for in the mail, Cricket? Hello, Emperor
There's-
Crimson. Glad to see you back.
Hey, Crimson.
But yeah, it's near the end where the Sonic monster is chasing like Junior Detective Neckbeard. And it chases him into the school's cafeteria's kitchen, and he finds a knife. He's like, he held the knife and pointed it at the fake Sonic like it was a weapon. So I remember someone did fan art of him like holding the knife like it was a gun or something.
Epic.
Even then, it's like, did he hold it for stabbing, for slashing, as a throwing knife?
Yeah, but he ended up stabbing himself. Like, oh, so if I get near you, you can turn me into one of your game slaves. Then,
Yeah, I remember that. He's like, let's see how fast you are.
yeah.
It was even more like Castlevania Symphony of the Night than round 2.
And then he found out his friend was Knuckles or something.
Sounds so wrong out of context.
Yeah. With Cartoon Comics and the Pez dispenser. Oh, well, I hope the mail speeds up. And then when the Pez dispenser's there, you can give us all Pez. Because those have like the capacity to like, or like the potency to like launch Pez across multiple states, right?
Yeah, or just ship them for another 2 weeks to get here. Picturing like mailing the tiniest envelope that's just big enough for like a stamp on one side and the address on the other side, and it has one Pez in it, one single Pez.
Is
Rudy, I'm trying to forget the Kingdom Chums.
Rudy?
Please don't remind
Hello,
me.
Bioman?
no, not the Kingdom Chums.
More like the Kingdom Chumps. Got him.
Got him.
Cricket, I told you though, Pez doesn't age. It's like what people say about Twinkies, like they can survive indefinitely.
And Twinkies really. I never believed those rumors.
Yeah, when the bombs fall, we're all going to be having Pez for dessert alongside our, canned chili and stuff.
Yeah, our spam.
Our rat away.
Either of you ever actually had spam?
Yeah, a long time ago when I was a kid. Wasn't very good.
It was just serviceable as a food, and that's about it.
Hey, Cameron.
When I was in elementary school and middle school, I was in the Scouts, and our little group would not shut up about the spam song from Monty Python. So eventually, one of the parents was just like, "Fuck it, I'll feed you kids spam and see if you like it." And then we stopped.
Pez that's aged like fine wines. Okay, now I need like a Merlot flavored Pez.
Hey, Manny.
French Pez, always renowned for its excellence.
Hey, Manny.
Yes.
Do you know that freaking Call of Duty creepypasta? The freaking Black Ops one? That tried to tie itself.
Wait, what?
The freaking Black Ops creepypasta that was featured on Black Creepypasta.
Oh yeah, Black Hell Ops.
Oh yeah.
Good name. 10 out of 10.
The one with the world try to tie itself in with Hiroshima, or that was the one with the Cthulhu. Or was it like one and the same story? I can't really remember that good.
I don't know.
I know there was one that tried to tie an N64 game in with Pearl Harbor.
Oh yeah, that was Nintendo 64. I didn't want to reenact Pearl Harbor in a Nintendo 64 game.
That literally sounds like a parody. That literally sounds like a parody of creepypastas.
That one, they determined what the guy was taking the piss.
Oh.
A piss. I mean, he probably did that too at some point.
Okay.
It's a critical part of the writing process. You gotta get up, take a piss, empty your bladder, clear your head, and come back fresh.
Yeah, that was the one where, like they mentioned the name Darb, and Toby's like, who the fuck is Darb? And then Cope's like, oh wait, the next sentence, Darb? Who is Darb?
Dob man.
And then it's like, it was Brad spelled backwards. And Brad was the name of the boy who died, who owned this N64. And I called his father, he's like, oh, he lives in Cemetery 1A. And they were like, I just met you, and I don't know why I'm telling you all of this deeply personal information.
Yeah, and I take issue with the term "lives in a cemetery."
Yeah, they
unless you're
brought
the
that up,
caretaker.
Nilbog. It's goblin spelled backwards.
Unless, of course, you're the caretaker. You've always been the caretaker. I should know. I've always been here. Anyway.
Rudy, we'll discuss Fear and Loathing later.
Are we ready to have some fun on a man bun?
I'd rather have fun on a popcorn bun than a man bun. Less greasy.
Okay.
So we are on Chapter 4, Dementia.
So it's gonna be like everywhere at the end of Godzilla. You get it?
Everywhere at the end of they should make that, like, maybe not the full album, but at least a parody of that. Like, take the whole Heisei saga and cut it back into everywhere at the end of Godzilla.
And it's about Godzilla finally suffering from dementia and reflecting on his life.
He just looks at Minyo and he's like, "Who are you, kid? You're not my son. Ugly sack of shit."
I mean, this is already more interesting than the story, but...
Haven't even read one line and we're already off on tangents.
So,
Good progress.
when I got back to the game, I was very upset and confused. I thought about the way the monster looked at me. The game couldn't have heard what I said. That's impossible.
Oh, hang on.
Hang on.
Sorry, that was my grandma. She wanted to ask me if I wanted some food.
Oh,
As grandmas are wont to do.
yes.
Yeah.
It had to be a random occurrence. But why did it happen precisely at the moment I insulted the monster? Nothing about this game made any sense. The new Godzilla monsters, the weird replacement monsters, out-of-place imagery like the green temples, quiz levels, and the red monster chases. It didn't seem to add up in any kind of meaningful way. I don't remember what order we were going in last time, so one of you take over.
If it was a prank, it wasn't funny in any way I could understand, and they clearly put far too much effort into it. If they were trying to make a genuine sequel with new Godzilla monsters, then why did they add ... everything else? Maybe it was some kind of maybe it was some kind of art experiment, some group project made by a bunch of really talented and crazy people, and they lost the cartridge somehow, or maybe they intended for some random person to find it. Now, it could only be the work of the Illuminati.
It was all fruitless guessing. As far as I could tell, there was only one way to figure out what the deal with this game was. To play it through the end because I have no life. Maybe, just maybe there would be something in the credits. An explanation by the creators as to why they made this. Or it could be something much more cryptic and strange. Maybe something horrifying. Before I got a good look at the Dementia board, I considered replaying Trant to see if the word monster would look at me again. But I decided against it. I wanted to keep moving forward. I was also somewhat worried about that backtracking might cause the game to become even more strange. Very strange.
Because that's how NES games work.
Dementia board music sounded a lot like the Saturn music, except it was slowed down and played with a piano sounding instrument. Like most of the these new map themes, it had a very dangerous and suspenseful feel.
Okay,
You
first
classify
of all,
as a piano-sounding instrument.
yeah, I was gonna say, are you perhaps referring to a piano?
An electric piano.
And also, I know what it's talking about, but the dementia board.
Mom, can we get a Ouija board? We have a Ouija board at home. Ouija board at home, dementia board.
While listening to the music, I looked at the dementia board. There were 4 boss monsters this time. Space Godzilla. I had to say it quickly like that because it doesn't put a space between space and Godzilla.
Yeah, to be fair, that is Toho's fault. That's how they call it.
Fucking Japanese. Manda, Gigan, and Baragon. Wasn't Baragon in like one
movie? Did this game?
Yeah. I think Baragon was in another Toho product, and then they stuck him in Final Wars because they stuck everything in Final Wars. This is your second reminder to watch Final Wars.
I was surprised that there were 2 new Toho monsters this time, but the best surprise was still to come. I started the quiz level. Here's another list of results in the same format as the last one. Why? Quiz 2. Can you swim? Answer yes, reaction happy. Do you like fish?
Women
Answer yes, reaction sick.
hate fish.
A lot of fish.
Hey, fuck you. I like fish.
Can penguins fly? Answer no. Reaction sad. Can it spin in all directions? There was no clarification of what face meant by it, so I just guessed. Answer
Godzilla?
no.
Maybe you? Maybe your dog? Maybe
Rea-
the TV?
reaction surprised.
So apparently this author is incapable of performing the maneuver known as the helicopter dick.
Oh, I thought it was called the windmill.
Or that.
Do you breathe oxygen? Answer yes. Reaction weird face number 8. I don't remember any of the faces, to be honest.
I'm gonna go back and see the faces.
I have a
Because-
weird feeling this may be ultimately meaningless.
Okay.
Yeah, like what are the point of the quizzes? What are they added to the story?
Does it taste good when you bite a woman?
Like, what are the point of these quizzes again? I don't.
You know the answer, audience. Send it to us on a postcard at P.O. Box 69, Gamertown, USA.
Yes.
Zip code 420. I don't know who came up with this question, but I really hope they're getting mental help. I mean, you came up with the question, author, so... Answer, no. Reaction, annoyed. I mean...
It's confirmed.
I mean, sometimes...
Godzilla NES promotes biting women.
Sometimes,
Who knew?
in the heat of the moment, there can be some biting that occurs, and... I mean... I don't know where I'm going with this. Is it night where you are? Answer, yes. Reaction, weird face number 6.
Yeah, because it's not night here. It's still
Crimson.
day.
Reaction, eggplant emoji.
Do you like cats? Answer, yes. Reaction, confused.
Hey, fuck you. Cats are cute.
Cats was a terrible movie, and I will not have you tell me otherwise.
Oh,
What about when your cat, gives your personal information and address to John Travolta?
oh yeah, I don't like that. But he's still cute. He's still fluffy, even if he is fat and lazy
Is
and does
water,
nothing. Well, you get it.
Is water wet? Answer, yes. Reaction, angry.
How suspenseful.
Water not wet, though?
Have you ever broken a bone? Answer, no. Reaction, happy. Do you like your job? Answer, yes. Reaction, hurt. Would you like a new monster? Answer, yes. Reaction, weird face number 11.
Oh, you answer yes to our new monster, and he goes ching chong on us. Okay.
I wasn't entirely sure at the time what Face meant by new monster, but I couldn't resist answering yes just to see what would happen.
In this game about giant monsters, yeah, that must be so confusing.
Yeah, good point. The result was mind-blowing. Right, mind-blowing. You ready for this? The game took me back to the board, and I had a new playable monster in the form of Anguirus.
No way!
Yay!
Ever since I was kid, I always wanted to play as Anguirus, since he was my second favorite Godzilla monster.
Minus
And
spelling
plus-
mistake. 0 out of 10. Wouldn't read again.
And plus, I never liked Mothra all that much. Fuck you.
Fuck
Oh,
you.
Well, that and, you're gonna piss off a lot of the people who were posting fan art after King of the Monsters came out.
Rudy, would you like a better story? Answer yes. Reaction middle finger. Very nice. I moved my new Anguirus piece over to the level right next to it, eager to test out my new monster. Before I get into the level description, I'll talk about Anguirus a bit.
Oh,
Raptor,
please.
tell me about Anguirus. What makes him tick?
Um, Anguillus is a giant Koopa guy who is angry, as evidenced by his name.
No talk him, he Angie.
Yeah. Anyway, using the up anyway about the actual show itself, using the up and down button, you could choose whether Anguilla stood in a bipedal stance or a quadrupedal stance. It wasn't a huge difference, but being able to stand was helpful in boss fights, and crawling sometimes helped dodge obstacles and attacks. He could punch and kick like Godzilla, but no tail whip. Instead, he had something far more interesting. The ability to curve into a spiked ball of death and roll around. You could still take damage, but it was lessened. It was a good way of clearing out stage enemies, but unfortunately doing this also drained the power bar. The spike ball wasn't his only ability. When you press start, he would fire a beam of energy from his mouth. It resembled the Titanosaurus's sonar attack. And if this were a hack, it may have been inspired by the war attack from Atari's Godzilla fighting games. Ew, Atari! Do not bring up Atari in this quality household. We do not speak the name of that company.
This is a wholesome Christian stream.
We don't speak the name of that fucking corpse of the fucking deadbeat uncle of the gaming industry.
Deadbeat uncle of the video game industry.
Also note is that when playing as Anguirus, the level meter gets glitched up. Judging by the life and power bar, I'd say he's on level 10. What the fuck are you on about? Now, on to the level.
Oh, I forgot we had a level in here.
So, fun fact about Anguirus, he is one of the only monsters to speak in Godzilla vs. Gigan, and it sounds terrible.
I can imagine.
Show us.
Although in the Japanese version, instead of having someone dub over a quote-unquote monster voice for Godzilla and Anguirus, they just gave them speech bubbles with Japanese characters in them. Because 60s Godzilla was weird, guys.
Is there an image of that?
Weird.
Was this
I
the
do see
one
that.
where
I'll find
Godzilla
it.
was kind of like a hero?
Oh, that's most of them after, like, the first two. Or first three.
I
Goes
just
from
remember.
simple of nuclear destruction to a guy who likes to tap dance.
I just remember.
Yeah, it's after the tap dancing.
Yeah, I remember when he was like doing like a victory dance at the end of the movie.
Yeah, this is in that same era.
Oh god. As you might have guessed from the level icon, these levels are green palette swaps of the ground and background tiles from the Blue Mountains. I mean, I don't really see. I guess that the mid color there could be considered green. I don't know. What immediately caught my attention was the
Grade
water,
me.
which has a transparency effect. Oh, here we go. We're getting into. This was much too advanced for an NES. Michael.
Sorry, I was digging up Godzilla with a speech bubble. Was that even possible for an NES game? What the hell? I knew the Super Nintendo could do it, but I'd never seen a transparency effect in a game on an NES. Come on, game designers. The Green Mountains music was played with the same instrument as the Blue Mountains, but the melody was totally different. It was a very simple song with a lot of abrupt pauses, followed by a loud note every few seconds. That doesn't sound annoying at all. Anyway, I went through the usual strolling through the level, and again, there were no monsters or anything, but pretty soon I had reached a cliff above the water. This is probably as good a time as any to... Good night, Rudy. Probably good as time as any to touch on the images for this episode and, probably the finale. Around probably, say, about 10:30 last night, I realized that I had completely fucked up because the 3 chapters that we're going to read today, if you go on the wiki, have a little over 110 individual images, most of which don't really affect the plot at all. So I've tried to pare it down to the most important ones, and a lot of them are going to be collaged together like this into like 2 or 3s or 4s, because god damn it, I don't want Chad to do like 2 days straight of just loading images into OBS and changing them over every 30 seconds when the majority of them, as good as they may be drawn, really have no bearing on the plot.
They look nice. They're just there to look
Just
nice.
vibing.
I couldn't think of anything else.
I think you're up, Raptor.
Oh. Is it? Do I sound like there was nowhere to go, or was it like it was the same enemy design?
There was nowhere to go.
Okay, yeah. There was nowhere to go, but into the water. So down I went. The water transparency made things a bit harder to see, but it was tolerable. After going underwater, I encountered 2 new enemies. A giant piranha, and some kind of spiky bottom feeder. I liked the piranha because I could easily tell what it was. It was a same enemy design that would appear in a real game, and there were very few enemies like that.
Were there?
I don't get it. Like, would you call like a Koopa Troopa a same enemy design? But they didn't take too much hits to kill. But it was quite annoying and could considerably trim down your life if they got close enough. They tended to travel in packs.
As for the bottom feeders, they're easy to deal with. They swim along the bottom of the screen towards you, oh, I never would have guessed, and are easily crushed with the roll attack or jumped over. In this screen cap, you can see me about to run one of them over, and there's a pack of piranhas, okay, but behind it. No, we don't have that picture. Who cares, though?
Yeah, basically the bottom feeder just looks like one lobster claw. And then there's 3 piranhas instead of 1, so I don't know. Didn't seem very important.
After I beat that level, I moved Godzilla onto the blue castle icon. I started the level, and I got a title screen with the text, Unforgiving Cold. The level itself looked like a castle dungeon made of blue bricks, with rows of identical white statue faces on the walls. Why is there no spaces after the periods and the commas in this paragraph? These statues,
The author's a hack.
These statue faces had a permanent look of horror on their faces.
The wall now, I guess.
As opposed to those statues with constantly changing looks on their faces.
Right.
There was also some flickering gray static, which didn't really obscure my vision, but it adds to the very unsettling mood of these levels. The music was a 12-second loop of a low-pitched choir vocalizing that sounded very familiar to me. Whenever I played through one of these levels, I got this sudden, horrible feeling of anxiety. I had the feeling that the farther I progressed through the level, the closer I was getting to something unspeakably evil.
Right.
Bill! Mario, swing your arms from side to side. Come on, let's do the Mario.
One step and back again.
Let's do the Mario all together now.
There weren't any enemies, but these were some of the longest levels in the game. I only played one level, but it took 7 minutes to complete. 7 minutes,
no
walking
life,
in a straight
man.
line.
This is riveting.
Maybe this is like Sonic.exe, to be honest.
It's like Sonic.exe was a longer game.
I didn't want to admit it to myself, but I realized something playing this Blue Castle level. This game helps the player to make the player feel certain things. I don't mean that in the sense you get irritated playing a crappy game or get unnerved by something scary in the game. What I mean is that certain events in this game can instantly make you start feeling something.
Okay, that
Feelings of
clearly
an almost
clarifies nothing.
human nature.
This will not do. I know that sounds completely insane, but I don't blame you for not believing in me. I wouldn't believe any of this either if I didn't play the game myself. But there was something very, very wrong with this game, and I still don't know how to explain it.
So, then it was Titan to fight Baragon's replacement. Although Baragon was originally the smallest monster in the game, his replacement was the largest. It was so tall, in fact, that the ground was noticeably lowered, and not Baragon, I guess that's what we're calling it, and not Baragon's head still barely avoided collision with the bar at the top of the screen. And he was just as frighteningly bizarre as he was huge. He
Or
was
gaunt, if you will.
Punjail. Yeah, he was huge. Anyway,
Someone clip that, please.
you may be wondering how he attacks without arms. Nah, I'm pretty much done wondering about this story in any capacity. Well, he has the most powerful kick in the game, but his other fighting technique is much stronger.
First, he blasts a cloudy breath of pixels down at you, which causes you to freeze. Then he walks back to the right corner of the screen and extends a huge Gatling gun from his abdomen.
Oh, Gatling dick, of course.
Yeah, he's got a minigun dick. As you do. Which makes it all better that you were saying, oh, he's huge. Because, I mean, yeah, he is.
Can we show this on the channel? I say it's okay.
Yeah, maybe I should have put a big sensor bar over that. Hey, Squid, how's it going?
Oh, hello, Kay.
Hi, okay, also,
I just realized
it's
I was
funny.
completely ignoring the chat. I'm sorry.
You're here just in time for Skelephant Dick.
Dick. Funny dick, and I got food.
Yeah, that might seem amusing to you,
Yes.
Raptor, but it certainly wasn't to me when I was playing the game, because
Well,
you don't
you're
have a
lame.
sense of humor, Arthur. We already know he's lame, he doesn't like Mothra.
Yeah, that's true.
This attack is almost as annoying as Gigan's Saw, and Baragont could have been unbeatable if he consistently used it. Thankfully, he only did it twice when fighting him.
I mean, he's got to reload.
He needs a cigarette in a couple hours.
How does he reload?
Well, you see, Raptor, ammunition is stored in the balls.
Yeah, I thought you had taken a health class, Raptor.
How does he, like... How does it refill when it's like empty? Like his balls?
I don't know. What are you
I don't know,
eating?
Raptor. Maybe that's a plot hole in this story. What are you eating?
Tater tot.
Nice.
One?
I have plenty. I will not go hungry.
Give me some of your tots, man.
I just pictured you like with like this 6 foot tall tater tot. Tater tot. What, one? Yep. Out.
Do you need me to keep going so you can eat your tots?
I'll just eat a few. Yeah, you keep going.
So now we got Raptor Tater Tot ASMR.
We've gone from Raptor, playing Spyro to Raptor eating tater tots. If you don't want to do the stream, you can tell me. Once you unfreeze, you can run up and start damaging the gun, which does extra damage to him. This helped me to blow his mind and destroy his Gatling penis. And then it was time to play the third level type. I decided that I was going to use Anguirus to fight Manda and Gigan, and then fight Space Godzilla as Godzilla. It was only fitting.
Oh my God.
Before getting into the battles, I'll describe the third level type, the Arctic. The Arctic is exactly what you guessed from the name, an icy tundra with a few watery segments. I'm shocked to tell you. The music reminded me a bit of Northern Hemispheres from Donkey Kong Country in 8-bit form, which is apparently a very dangerous sounding song. It made me think about being trapped in a tundra and freezing to death.
Game was like a great OC. Even no OST. Fuck. But we've only I can't think right now.
No
But
thoughts,
point is,
just
it's very
thoughts.
good.
Gotta get those pocket thoughts all the time. Oh god. Why is this story so phallic? Don't know what you're talking about, Kay. I mean, tells us what you've got on your mind. I'm just kidding. I thought it would be a fire level.
Yeah, you know, the Arctic always on fire.
Yeah, no, it said Arctic, not California.
F.
California.
Wait,
You mean the
California.
town that was featured in the film known as The Wizard?
Oh, you guys know about that? For anyone who doesn't know, you see, in 1989 there was this movie called The Wizard.
Raptor, Manny, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Explain this to me.
You don't know? It stars
Alright.
Fred Savage.
Alright, so you see, Fred Savage, plays the older brother to this mentally disabled boy. The fuck was that?
Trying to scream without actually screaming. Apparently just sounded like death.
It sounded like you were farting.
Oh.
Sound like the freaking adults from Peanuts.
Like it sounded like you were farting but trying to release it very slowly to be subtle.
Now why would I do that?
I don't know, I just let it rip.
Exactly. Better out than in, I always say. Alright, Raptor, how we doing on those tots?
Now I'm thinking about the Shrek movie again.
Or left.
I don't know, Manny, do you want to maybe take a few if Raptor's still totting it up?
Yeah, just never say that again. There are two new enemies in this stage. The first was a creature frozen in a block of ice. They block. Haha! Your way,
Yeah,
and you have to...
I'm done with the tots.
Okay, you can take the next one.
Okay.
And you have to use the heat beam to thaw out the ice. They look like a smaller version of not Gezora, only without the eye.
Weird. They do a strange crawling motion and push you backwards. It doesn't cause any damage, but it's a bit annoying. After dealing with the Iceman, I kept walking for a minute or two and came upon a water segment. I jumped in, and this time I managed to get a screen cap showing how the water splashes when you jump in. I don't know. I do not know how they program that in, but it's very impressive. Another interesting thing about how the screen changes focus when you go underwater. Wilburton.
Here, you can see the other new enemy. A little thing I call Spike Walker.
A name.
You're so fucking creative. And in case you can't tell, author, that's sarcasm. I don't know why I said it as sarcasm, but I did. I put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. They walk towards you and explode randomly, or instantly if you attack them, sending spikes in every direction. The spikes don't do much damage, but they did get me dangerously close to falling into a pit a few times. Oh, speaking of the pits, down into the water, the game has a platformer element. Bottomless pits. Yeah, you've told us that. There weren't any of these in the original game, since it was strictly an action game, but the pits were a neat addition. Walrus? After getting
Yeah,
The walrus
Maguma
from
the Walrus.
it's the walrus from Pingu.
After getting back on land, I encountered a very unexpected mini-boss, Maguma, the Walrus Kaiju. I know this game had some obscure monsters to begin with, but wow. Not that I'm complaining, it's a pretty cool cameo for an unappreciated kaiju.
No, he sucks.
Yeah, he's so unappreciated that he's not even in any of the Godzilla movies. He's just some other kaiju Toho made.
Oh, and in Final War.
He's not even in Final Wars, I don't think.
How sad. How depressing. Oh, then we get
Maguma,
some verification for that.
Maguma's fighting tactics were very simple. He had a freeze beam, and he could charge into you. Not very challenging, but certainly more entertaining than the Matango mini-boss in the original game. One really interesting thing about Maguma is that he doesn't die when you defeat him. He turns tail and retreats. This was the first time I had ever seen an enemy monster change direction, let alone retreat.
Okay, I looked it up on the Godzilla wiki. Nope. He's not in there. He's not in Final War.
I knew it. I tried to chase after him, but he disappeared after I got in the water. Poor bastard. The sarcasm where snark grows. Nice.
Right,
Thank you, Kay.
Wait, man, you stop thinking about the Shrek movie. Yeah, it took a lot of effort and alcohol, but I did it. They still have their gun dicks. Wasn't there a turtle kaiju that saved kids? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Gamera.
Gamera, yeah. My man Gamera. What a lad that Gamera is.
Probably gets dizzy a lot.
Hmm?
Raptor.
Oh, that's me?
Yeah.
Okay, one really interesting thing about Magma is that he doesn't die when you defeat him.
Next one.
Next paragraph.
Oh, sorry, I'm confused.
Welcome to
Oh,
real life.
I forgot to mention before that music that plays during the monster fight is we use the from themes actually in the game because we care, right? We totally care about this, right?
Not only do we care, but we have heard these songs and committed them to memory. So we completely understand what's going to be said here.
So far, the themes have been Titanosaurus, Gizora's music, Biollante, Hidora's music, Orga, Baragon / Magora's music, Manda T, Rawa's music, Space Godzilla, Mechagodzilla's theme.
I like how he tells us that when he hasn't fought Space Godzilla yet.
And we totally care about the music in these like levels, right?
Wait, what music? I already forgot.
The music. Oh, I get it.
As for the fight, Mando was a fairly crafty opponent. When it realized one tactic was ineffective, it would immediately change to a different one. Or, I mean, that's just how it's programmed. Mando used quite a few tricks, like spitting fire, biting, and the most irritating of all, constricting. Oh, okay.
I don't think I put this image in, but he's given Anguirus a big hug.
Yeah.
It's adorable.
It doesn't mercilessly drain your life down like Gigan's cutter, but it was by far Manda's strongest attack.
One last thing to note that I found pretty cool was that the Atron.
Now this guy is just like mentally jacking himself off. I found this pretty cool.
Yeah, he tends to do that a lot, which at least the art is kind of cool. Like, if this is what you're into, like, it's not. Again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's not Blood Whistle, and he's like, "Oh man, this screen was really cool. It had an MS Paint brain coming out of a toad."
Do I sound weird to anyone?
You sound fine to me.
Okay, I think this might be an issue with your computer again, or whatever.
Yeah, it was one last thing to note that I found pretty cool, you guys, was that the Atragon showed up during the fight to help me out. Amanda crushed it with ease, but it was still cool. Well, yeah, it was so cool that it was here for 2 seconds and did nothing to help. After I slayed Manda, I played through an Arctic level for health power-ups, and then it was on to Gigan's replacement. When the fight started, I was very confused, because there was nothing there. I thought this was going to... Oh, go ahead.
Okay, well, why didn't you guys say anything before?
An orbit streaming from Bean Space 1.
It's not too bad to me, to be honest.
Whatever. Go on, I'm not going to worry about it.
Cool. I thought this was going to be like the Titanosaurus quote-unquote fight in Pathos, but just about the time it would have been going back to the map, a piranha appeared on screen. Wow, spook! But it wasn't there for long. As soon as it appeared, the speakers emitted an ear-splitting screech, and Gigant flew in and ripped the poor fish into pieces.
Oh no, not fish.
Oh no.
Character.
Why am I feeling this is like a game the author really wants to make? Like, this is like he wants to make this an actual game. This is as close as he can get.
And even more so than some of the other gaming creepypastas, where it's obviously written very specifically so that someone could make it a fan game, like going down to the music details and like every single boss monster. It's like, and when so much of this, spoiler alert, is not going to really mean anything to the resolution of this story, it's really something.
Well,
Like,
that's...
It's that cliched, like dialed up to 11.
Well, that's one way to get the player on their toes. And I am not saying that as commentary, that's literally the line. And I hate this guy for it. That abrupt entrance scared the hell out of me and got my adrenaline rushing, you pussy. Which in retrospect was a good thing, because Nakigan was one of the fastest, most unrelenting opponents in the game. Nakigan was tough, but my new skills with Anguirus helped to even the score. This was still an incredibly intense fight. I really doubt that. Nakigan's attacks consisted of some kind of boost of blood laser.
Blood laser.
Blood laser. Mm-hmm.
You should see on the right-hand side of the screen a blood laser. Or a squiggly red line.
Yeah. It just looks like someone, like, drizzled some ketchup across the screen. Blood laser he spews from his mouth, and a downward slash. I was expecting some hellish variant of the buzzsaw attack, but thankfully there didn't seem to be one. Oh, thank God.
I was very worried.
The howl attack was invaluable in defeating him. I would have taken more screen caps of the fight, but I really had to concentrate. You have never concentrated in your life.
After that, there was just one monster left to take down, Space Godzilla. As mentioned earlier, I used Godzilla for this fight. Space Godzilla's fighting technique was rather frustrating, but admittedly a clever idea. Look at all these clever ideas I have, please make my game.
The father says about the blood laser, oh fuck, I missed my hot dog.
Please, make that a game. Make my game real.
Blood laser sounds like a metal band in space. I dig it. Space Godzilla would use his energy to create 2 flying crystals, which would reach the ground and become crystal spires. These spires not only block you from reaching Space Godzilla, but it also allowed him to constantly recharge to full energy and blast you with a deadly, fully charged Corona beam until you broke the spires.
Nah.
Did Space Godzilla cause the demonetization virus?
Likely.
I mean, I'm not saying he did, but yes, he did.
Godzilla would eventually drain his own spires of energy until they shattered. But if you waited for that to happen, you'd probably lose a lot of life. Heat beams actually seemed to re-energize the spires, so you had to use physical attacks. When you finally got close enough to Space Godzilla, he was no pushover. When I punched him, he hit me back just as hard. Space Godzilla does everything in his power to knock you back to the left corner of the screen, so he could create more spirals. By the time the fight was over, I only had 5 life bars left. But it didn't matter, because I didn't need to fight anymore. I needed to run.
Heard that cough, Raptor. Did you get hit with a Corona beam too? You okay?
I guess.
Here we go again! Again, that's not me commenting, that's a douchebag line in this. I decided right then that I really wanted to see the end of this game. Yeah, you've said that already. As terrifying as these levels could sometimes be, I had to beat them to get though.
Why would you get though?
Anyway, I decided that no matter what happened, no matter what the game showed me, I was going to get to the end. And I also made sure not to say a damned word while playing a chase level from here on.
Don't say the swear words or the monster in the NES game will look at you.
For this chase, I tried out Angerus, since his roll attack allowed me to move faster than Godzilla or Mothra. As if you were going to pick Mothra anyway. You kaiju bigot. The chase started off like the first two, except there was a river of blood below the ground. I was beginning to get the hang of it, and the extra speed from the roll helped me get an edge on the red monster, especially since I didn't have to worry about a power limit and could keep rolling endlessly.
Keep rolling, 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 rolling.
You see him rolling,
Want to see the end of this author's writing career? Oh, you will. But at the end of this story. Because I don't think they wrote anything else, not that I know of. Like the previous levels with water, the ground inevitably reached a stop, so I rolled off into the blood. As you do. To my surprise, the Hellbeast didn't follow after me. It just stopped at the edge of the ground and grimaced. I guess you can't swim, I thought to myself. So I went under blood.
No, fuck off! What? Oh my god. Under blood? Go fuck yourself.
Under blood.
Under the blood. Under the blood.
Darling, it's better down where it's redder. Take it from me.
Man, he's getting upset.
I'm sure the Angry Dome has been cleaned recently and is open for business. If you need to head up there.
That's where I'm streaming from.
Ah. There wasn't anything around, but I knew something was up. The chase wasn't going to end that easily, could it? Surely something else had to show up. And sure enough, I heard the bellowing roar, sounding slightly different.
So Dark Souls 3. Me under blood. Gurgle, gurgle, gurgle.
And the monster was following after me in a new aquatic body. Wow! I had no idea it was a shapeshifter.
He became fishy. He's a fish.
He's left our blessed ground and returned to their filthy water.
He went under blood, became fish, and wrote this story.
Under Armour special Halloween brand Underblood.
I roll off into the blood. Made me think of a comment, but it's a lady issue related thing, so never mind. I'm not gonna lie, Kay. I've been thinking of a bunch of blood related jokes that all came to that subject, so I've been holding back on them.
Here, the chase started to get into the difficulty I had expected. Being submerged slowed me down, putting me and the beast at about the same speed. The only thing that would keep me alive was my fast thinking and gamer reflexes. Yeah.
My fast thinking and reflexes. Yeah, you say as you shove another handful of Cheetos into your mouth.
We see he's not only playing this with the power glove, he's actually wired electrodes from his brain into the power glove so that his thinking speed directly affects how fast the control inputs happen. It's so bad.
So bad. Yeah. In the NES Godzilla movie, do you think Anguish will be played by Jack Black?
Oh my god.
Oh.
They better
Well,
get
no,
Chris
because Anguirus
Pratt to
isn't a
play
villain.
Red.
I mean, except in Godzilla Raids again. Jack Black will play Red. Chris Pratt will play Godzilla.
And Seth Rogen will play Anguish.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And Keegan-Michael Key will play Mothra. So we have a perfect cast.
Brie Larson will play Mothra just so we can actually have a reason to hate it.
No.
Is that a real line?
Fast thinking and reflexes was the actual line. I put gamer in there.
Yeah, it doesn't say gamer, but it does say my fast thinking and reflexes. This guy, I'm immediately picturing like some 300-pound neckbeard with a trilby who's like, oh yeah, I learned how to use a katana that I bought at a convention from watching anime. I'm basically a samurai now.
Hey, this Red will not escape me. He won't escape Lord Fratravert. Hey.
I will never lose in a sword fight, just like I will never lose my virginity.
I will never lose my virginity because I never lose.
Raptor.
So, I counted some bottomless pits, which mines floated up from. I assumed that if you hit one, it would damage you and knock you back. Considering how fast the red monster swims, hitting the mines would be instant death, so I went through great effort to avoid them. But that wasn't all I had to be wary of. Halfway through the chase, the Hell Beast revealed yet another terrible surprise. A tentacle formed of intestines and tipped with a clawed set of jaws burst out of its mouth, trying to pull me in and devour me. I only barely avoided both the tentacles and the mines, but I could tell the Hell Beast was getting desperate because the chase was nearly over. And about a minute later, I spotted a bit of ground that served as the exit. I leaped with all the might I could muster without breaking my controller. The Hell Beast screamed with rage and jumped
Pressing the button harder doesn't make it work better.
The Hell Beast screamed with rage and jumped out of the blood with an own final attempt to drag me down. But I escaped its grasp this time.
Okay,
I fell back on.
Without breaking the controller. What, did you sit on it?
Yeah, put a brick on it.
Those big, fat-filled sausage fingers just nearly broke the A button.
I fell back on my bed and took a deep breath, satisfied with yet another successful escape. Now I headed back.
I fell back on my bed and took a deep breath, satisfied.
Now I was
Can't take that out of context in any way.
Oh, hang on. Now I was headed to the fifth world. Entropy. No, wait, no, that's a Crash Bandicoot character. That's not a world, you silly gamer.
Whoa, Raptor, the hard R, come on. Who am I kidding? This guy deserves it.
All right.
Crimson trying to devour me. Ooh woo.
Wait. Ooh woo. Ooh woo. Crimson, go to unforgivable jail. All right. Chapter 5. Entropy, Part 1.
Yeah, now we're getting
Oh
into
no.
the Berserkables naming convention of chapter this, part this.
EW. What's EWK? In the original game, the sixth world was Pluto. Ironically, despite being the smallest planet, Pluto was the largest and most diverse world in the game.
Was that a plan you fool?
It is.
Is that irony? I don't know.
Entropy had a different layout, but was similarly huge and diverse. The board music was played by a violin instrument. You mean a violin? God. This violin-type instrument sound... God. A melody that started out sounding mournful, and then it gets rather... I guess I would call it distorted. Oh my god, shut up.
What? Distorted? No, wait. Distorted?
It made me feel depressed and unnerved. No, that's your morbid obesity and diabetes. Not something I would want to hear while trying to sleep. Strangely, none of the levels from the previous worlds were present here. Instead, there were 8 brand new icons. The bosses this time were Megalon, Batra, and Mecha Godzilla. You about the satisfied bed thing.
Figured it was about the ooh woo thing, but yeah, that works too.
Have fun, Mike. You get to read the quiz part this time.
I love the quiz. It's my favorite part of this entire story, and I promise it will have a meaningful resolution
Piano type.
and totally mean things.
Wait, maybe this guy's like this. He's like going Christian, whatever the guy's name is, and like combining all of his likes and headcanons into the story. It's like, oh, these are the new Pokemon types I created, the music types, and there's subtypes. There's piano type, there's violin type.
I wouldn't put it past Game Freak at this point to make Pokemon designed around a piano or a violin, though. They've made candelabras and piles of trash.
I like the candelabra one. But in that they've also done a violin. They combined it with a cricket.
Cricket, are you okay? That sounds painful.
It's a cricket tune.
I get it.
I get it. As usual, the first thing I did was go to the quiz level for another interrogation from Face. You're sat in a dark room at a very Spartan sort of metal table on a metal chair bolted to the ground. There's one light bulb hanging from the ceiling, and across from you is just an 8-bit smiley face. But when I got there, I noticed something different. Instead of the usual goofy Ghidorah music, it was the password theme. Dun dun dun. The music change seemed to be intentional. It's a game, it's all intentional. Unless there's a randomizer, it's all intentional. Because after the first 2 questions at the start, the quiz starts to take on a darker tone. Quiz 3. Do you like ice cream? Answer, yes. Reaction, weird face number 1. Do you like clowns? Answer, yes, wrong. Reaction, weird face number 10. I'm gonna guess that was the clown face, because I remember there was a clown face. Number 3, is time slipping through your fingers? Answer, yes. Reaction, weird face number 2.
Yeah, weird face because that's the wrong answer. Time is not slipping through your fingers. It keeps on slipping into the future.
But if I could save time in a bottle, I would spend none of it reading this story.
Because, see, I want to fly like an eagle. To the
Um,
sea.
living it up at the Hotel California. Number 4, do you have any regrets? Answer, yes. Reaction, hurt. Number 5, do some people deserve to die? Answer, no. Reaction, weird face number 3. Number 6, is it safe to go out at night? Answer, yes. Reaction, weird face number 5. Number 7, do you find it hard to sleep at night? Answer,
Yes.
yes. Reaction, weird face number 9. Well, clearly he's going out at night, which probably does make it hard to sleep when you're not at home. Number 8, have you ever killed anyone? Answer, no. Reaction, weird face number 7. Number 9, do you want to kill anyone? Answer, no. Reaction, angry. Now, this is a very, very fitting question here. Number 10, are you actually accomplishing anything? Answer, no. Correct. Reaction, weird face number 4.
Should have been number 10, the clown one.
Number 11, does life have any real meaning? Answer, no. Reaction, love.
Oh, a nihilist like me. Away.
Number 12, do you like Mothra? Answer, no. Incorrect.
Wrong.
Reaction, maniacal.
I knew that last one was going to be a gameplay-related question, but I had no idea what the result would be. I answered honestly, because as I said before, I never liked Mothra. Yeah, we know, you're wrong. Nobody liked playing as Mothra in this game. And there was a good reason for that. Every other time Mothra gets hit, she gets slammed back to the left corner of the screen, and she sucks at fighting because her attacks are so weak. The only benefit Mothra had was being able to fly over obstacles in some levels. So I answered no, and Face actually replied back to me, not only with a maniacal expression, but with the text, "Too bad."
You're bad. Too bad.
Pointed out I actually did miss one question here. Number 15, Burger King foot lettuce. Answer, the last thing you'd want in your Burger King burger. Please laugh.
Funny.
Do you want to kill anyone? Answer, this author. Raptor?
Yeah. I had been taken back to the map screen, and I was shocked to see that Godzilla and Anguis has just disappeared from the board, leaving only Mothra. The
We did it.
just-
We got a time skip, or yeah, tone. What do you call it? The word that I'm blanking on.
10 swap.
Temp swap.
Oh, there have been many so far.
Face had fucked me over, needless to say. I was pissed, but there wasn't anything I could do. I'm willing to bet even if I had said yes, I would have been stuck with Mothra anyway. Face giveth and face taketh away.
Oh my god! That's an actual lie!
Yes.
Go fuck yourself. Eat a dick.
Face giveth, and face taketh away. Really makes you think, doesn't it?
Your face meeteth my fist.
I took a deep breath and got ready to explore. There were two paths I could take through the board. I decided to take the lower one.
You took a deep breath because you're so fucking fat.
This turned out to be a good choice for reasons I'll get to momentarily. The first word ahead of me was a forest. So I started there. Almost immediately I got an eerie feeling that something was off about this level. That just seemed off to me, even more than the previous ones.
The author doesn't like the one girl kaiju in the game? Right, it's confusing. Because
Emoji.
someone like this Faces God, he pushes Biff into the river when he tries to leave. Perhaps it was the pitch black background. I've always been afraid of being in a forest at night. Oh, you never go outside. Something about all those trees makes me feel surrounded and vulnerable.
There might be a Slender Man out there in those woods. Ooh.
Lendozilla.
Thankfully, that wasn't the line.
And the fact that I was stuck as Mothra didn't help. Playing the game's previous worlds as Godzilla gave me a feeling of bravery, being in control of the king of the monsters. I'd be able to handle just about anything in my way, unlike in real life. But it's not.
Unless the monster looks at me.
But it's not like that with Mothra. No feeling of strength or security. Now I'm just a weak, easily overwhelmed bug traversing into the unknown. Oh, just like real life for you.
Except Mothra's not that at all. He's just projecting his insecurities onto her.
Yep.
Yeah, Mothra has defeated Godzilla and flown into space, and obviously sacrificed herself to make other much larger battles be won. Fuck you. In this channel, we stand Mothra.
Yeah.
Back to the level. The music had new instruments, sounding like woodwinds, followed by slow rhythmic drums and chiming bells. Not drum-like instruments or bell-like instruments.
Wow.
We're making some progress here. Gave me this feeling that I was intruding into some dangerous place I really should not be. After a while, I encountered the first enemies of the stage, or at least I assumed they were enemies. They were strange, long-legged, deer-like creatures. Instead of attacking...
Deer things from The Last Jedi, or whatever they were.
Oh no, it's space horses. Like skinnier space horses. Instead of attacking, they were just idly walking around. I went to approach them, and they ran away.
Dude.
Just like every woman you've ever approached. Ah! Got him.
Got him.
I thought about shooting one with an I-beam to see what would happen.
I thought about shooting one just like every woman you've ever met who's walked away from you.
Get him.
Got him again. But it seemed wrong. These creatures were harmless, so I passed over them and continued through the level.
Oh, sorry. About halfway through, I encountered the groups of the deer-like animal, and two new creatures as well. A sloth-like creature with a beak climbing on a tree, and a hairy, raptor-esque beast that were preying on the deer creatures.
Realize now that I should have put Space Jam hats on the raptors in the right image.
It was very surreal watching these creatures interact. I didn't feel like I was playing a video game, but rather that I was traversing through a forest in some other dimension. Damn, this probably isn't even like an NES game. It's like a Famicom Entertainment System game. It's so advanced, my boys. The creatures ignore me for the most part, but although the raptors did attack me when I got too close, or if I attacked them first, I know I shot one of them to try to help one of the deer creatures escape. I got clawed at, but the confrontation was easily avoidable by flying up to the top of the screen.
So wait, are we just ignoring the sloth creature there?
Yeah,
Let us address the sloth in the room.
I mean, what else is there to say? He's just there. He's just vibing. He's just trying to enjoy life, and that's all they need to know.
Kaijus, ghosts, haunted hacked games. Some people just want to grill, for God's sake. And that's where the sloth falls.
Yeah, the sloth just wants to grill.
Although, he's a bit more of a slow cooker kind of guy.
Bad joke, Jill.
I get it.
I'm also a strange long-legged... Okay, what the fuck are you talking about?
Squids have long legs, tentacles.
Just read.
Hey,
You're up, aren't you? Or I can take over if you need me to.
no, it's fine.
After that, I had to choose whether I wanted to play the levels with the hourglass or the TV screen. I picked the latter. What I got was not at all what I expected. When I pressed the button to start a level on the TV screen like I normally would, this screen with an animation popped up. There was also music in the background, which was the goofy Ghidorah music that used to be playing in the quiz levels. I was somewhat unsettled by this because it was so strange. I also found it a bit spooky because I had a
How is that scary?
I don't know. No, wait. I also found it a bit spooky because I had a shirt that looked just like that when I was a kid.
When as a kid.
When as a kid.
Pussy.
After starting the animation, you could go back to the board by pressing any button.
Where's the any button?
God damn it.
Why is this important? Why is this in the game?
Because, Raptor, it's very scary because that thing had a shirt that looked just like that when as a kid.
I'm
Does that not terrify you to your dinosaur bones?
I'm starting to think there's a reason why this game was never made into an actual thing.
After that, I had no what to expect of the rest of these icons. I went to try an hourglass icon next. I was somewhat relieved when an actual level came up. It was certainly an unorthodox looking level, all brown, with time measuring instruments floating in the air.
God.
Which you might call clocks. And gigantic grandfather clocks in the background. The music was the same as the board screen. And very early in the level, I encountered something else I didn't expect to see. Original enemies from the game!
I've given up making sense, like this story. Oh my god, that is the most generic shirt ever. How is that unnerving at all? Honestly, when you have nothing to do, smoking weed is awesome.
Anyway, and not just that, it seemed to be a whole fleet of them, and the yellow tanks, which were normally immobile, could now move. I took some damage, but it was nothing I couldn't handle because I'm an epic gamer, my man. But it was the most interesting thing about this level. The most interesting thing about this level was the colored hourglass items. There were three of them.
Quick, philosophical question. I'm going to assume that the yellow tanks that were normally immobile were actually part of the original game. If you were designing a Godzilla breaks shit game, why would you make the tanks immobile? The hell?
Did I mispronounce hourglass?
El Nino. No,
sure, El Nino.
You said it says hourglass items. It's like, you mean hourglasses?
They
gotta hit that word count.
It's like the piano style instrument again. Just say piano. Just say hourglass. God damn it.
There were three of them. A blue hourglass that made time slow down and filled the levels with enemies from the past. A red hourglass that made time speed up and filled the level with enemies from the future. And a green hourglass that set the timer to the normal speed and filled the level with the original game enemies.
More like board screen, because it sucks. Ha! Got him.
I don't get it. What do you mean, like, by enemies from the past?
I don't know, but, well,
The,
Oh,
the
here's
top
something.
right image here is the quote-unquote enemies from the past. There's like a mammoth, some triceratops.
Oh, never mind then.
Giant shrimp, a coelacanth.
It's. I think there's like a name for this kind of creature. Hang on, let me just look it up.
I
Cambrian arthropod.
encountered the blue hourglass first. As stated, the game started to slow down, and I saw the enemies from the past, which were 5 different type of prehistoric animals. I don't know much about prehistory, but I believe
It's called
all of these.
Opabina. That's what the shrimp thing's called.
Yay.
Now you know.
But all of these enemies represent real animals. A computer-type device. The level went into another segment, and I encountered the green hourglass, and then I fought the original enemies again. It was the same 5 types, so I didn't take any screenshots. But in the last segment, I encountered the red hourglass, and the enemies that must have been from the future. Now, whether or not the game was showing me 8-bit renditions of creatures that will actually exist thousands of years into Earth's future, it's not, you dribbling mongoloid. I have no idea. But with that thought in mind, I found this particular segment to be very eerie, because you're a pussy. And it was made more tense because everything moved faster. I mean, at your weight, everything moves faster than you.
Hey, what's the point of this part? Why is this? How does it relate to like the red creature? And how is this is like a spooky WOM hack?
Because, Raptor, not only is this game haunted, it apparently also exists outside of time and can perceive what life will look like in thousands of years. Or the author just likes drawing weird futuristic kaiju characters.
It's
I'll let you decide.
Again, it's just feel like this offers. This is just like what the author wants the game to be like, but he can like doesn't have like enough to know how to program a game itself, so he just made this and like people gonna make this to an actual game. I just know it.
I'm disappointed in him for not making at least one of the clocks in the background 420. There's 427. One of the future enemies bore a striking resemblance to something I saw in a book once, called Rodan Man. Another looked like some kind of organic spaceship. There was only one of the 5th type of future creature, and when it appeared, all the others ran for their lives, leaving me alone to battle it.
Well,
It could fly.
That looks like the fucking final boss from Silent Hill. Well,
Pyramid Head?
The Incubus.
I never actually played Silent Hill, so I'll take your word.
God damn it.
I had no PlayStation.
Read!
I'm sorry, I didn't have no PlayStation.
We're going back in time, and we're giving young Mike a PlayStation. With Silent Hill.
This won't ruin the timeline or anything.
It could fly. Wait, is this? Oh, sorry, I didn't know. If you
I think this is my 3rd.
Yeah.
Okay.
It could fly, but its sprite didn't actually move, and its single attack was firing a lightning bolt from its face. Even so, it was surprisingly powerful, and I suppose it could be considered a mini-boss.
My nails are wet and I can't open my candy. Michael, open this bag for me, please. God, fucking women. Future creature, feature.
Okay, if you can wait about, 72 hours, I can be landed in an airport. But I think your nails will be dry by then.
Okay, so is that for you?
Yeah.
Okay. After defeating it, it left a health power-up that restored the health and energy I had lost fighting it. Which was convenient. It seemed I would need all the help I could get to beat this world with Mothra alone. After that previous stage, I call Time Warp.
hands on your hips. Then you do it again.
The next stage appeared to be a toxic waste dump. As you can see, the place looked grungy and inhospitable. The music was a sharp looping of an ambient synthesizer song. Listening to it made me feel like I had sniffed some toxic fumes myself, and it was messing with my head the whole time. I even feel like I was choking. While I was playing this, oh god, someone please make my game a reality. I worked so hard to make it so fucking awesome. Oh.
So now the main character has synesthesia. He's choking on music.
The enemies all seem to be mutated to some degree. In the above screenshot, you can see green mummies with bird skulls that jump out of the waste to spit projectiles. There's also a brownish cow skeleton. You mean brown? There's also a brown cow skeleton monster with spider legs. Halfway through the level, I even saw one of the deer from the forest. It was alone, and when I saw it, it was drinking toxic waste out of a barrel with an anteater-like tongue. Well, that's normal. I was moving over to try to make it stop, but then this flock of skull birds came out of nowhere and started attacking.
He says, I'm patient. Please don't lie to me like that. Did you get sent to pun jail? I don't think so.
Yeah, she did.
Oh, yeah, you did. The deer was scared by this and ended up running off the ground into the toxic waste. I feel bad for it. One of
Oh, poor dear.
Why? Why does it say that?
Because you're supposed to understand that the author feels things. I don't know.
What? Another heart attack?
What is the point?
Feels bad for the deer, but he also can't feel anything below either of his knees. One of the birds bit me, but I regained health quick from killing all of them. They were rather weak. I pressed onward. Of all the levels in Entropy, this was probably the most normal, in that there was little deviance from the move forward, smash things formula in the original game.
I think he meant a brown type color. Yeah, but the thing is, you look at these things, it's just brown. How now, brown cow? For your future creature feature, that's what you got pun jail for. Also, Michael, I'm very patient. She's lying, Mike.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had a conversation the other day about how you would dig the toy out of the cereal box before even eating the cereal. So I beg to differ. Also, move forward, smash things is words to live by, truly. It's how to live your life. I encountered more... go ahead.
That's how All Might lived his life.
Mm-hmm. I understood that reference.
Good.
Nope, not at all. I'm guessing My Hero Academia?
Yes, just read, you heathen.
I encountered more creatures through the level, like tentacled blobs, and some kind of deformed thing with human-like teeth. Very descriptive.
What? No, he was just looking in the mirror for that one.
I didn't feel like provoking them into a fight, so I kept on flying near the top of the screen. I still had to deal with occasional flock of birds now and then.
Flock of seagulls?
Booga booga. Yeah, he's gonna run so far away.
Couldn't get away.
At the end of the level was a large bluish-green lake, and I encountered there another mini-boss. Some kind of monster with a long neck and a whale's skull. It attacks with a mouth projectile by charging into you. It could also go underneath the water and rapidly emerge from a different place. it was harder to beat than the boss from Time Warp, and it had a lot of help because it must have taken me like 3 minutes to beat it. It let out a really loud noise when it died, and then sank back into the water as it left the screen. Back on the board, I went to the newest icon level I haven't seen yet, which was a white tree. As I guess, the level was a winter-themed recolor of the forest stage.
Yeah, okay.
Father, that's the national anthem for Iran. The father, go to punch jail. I appreciate it, but go.
I just realized too, the more I'm like making up the image of this guy in my mind, the more he's becoming Plinkett.
You want to come play NES in my creepy basement?
Who doesn't do that, Michael? Who waits for the prize? Get prize, eat cereal. No, I'm with Mike on this one. But unlike the regular forest, I didn't feel unnerved starting this one. Oh my god. I think the music had a lot to do with it. It was a gentle, calm song. It almost sounded romantic. Not that you've ever gotten any romance. It was quite stress relieving, except for maybe with your anime body pillow. And the forest itself looked much less ominous covered in snow. I think that would...
It looked like it was made in MS Paint.
You guys have seen the 2005 King Kong, right? The one that's like 3 hours long?
No. I never bothered.
Well, let me put it this way. This is what is... I'm being reminded of a scene that takes place at about like the 2.5 hour mark after Kong has escaped from the show in New York, like in the original movie. They have this like 10-minute extended scene with him and Darrow just like in a snowy Central Park, sliding around on ice with romantic music playing. And that is a really good way to put someone to sleep in that goddamn movie. And this is where this story is now. We're having romantic, happy forest times, and it's just bringing everything to a halt.
Don't take his side. I am taking his side.
But I need that side.
Nah, you got another one.
Alright, just don't take my good side.
Oh, too late. I just sold it.
Fuck.
I traveled through the first segment, enjoying the atmosphere for 4 minutes! When suddenly I realized something. Something had fallen out of my ass! I haven't seen a single creature since I started the level. It took you 4 minutes to realize that. Okay,
Longer than it took him.
I'm not even going to compare him to Plinkett anymore because Plinkett was actually intelligent.
Longer than it took him to beat the last boss that he described. 1 minute longer. He spent going to the right and not noticing what was going on in the level.
Where are all the animals? Soon after, I left the screen and the next segment started. What, you dig your... I don't know, on the one hand, treasure, on the other hand, food. Tough choice. No, just eat the food. You dig your arm in for the prize, father. Retrieve the prize, then pour a bowl of cereal. Now you have the cereal and the prize. Win-win. Yeah, except you, like, bring your arm out, there's now cereal all over the table and the floor.
Yeah, you're probably... Considering that you were a child when you did this, like your filthy, grubby child hands have now dug through half the cereal that the rest of the family has to eat.
In the second segment, I was still in the winter forest, but now the music was gone. I was starting to feel suspicious, but then I reminded myself that there were other empty levels in the game, and this was likely another one of those. Yet now you remember that.
Then I heard something familiar. It was the 12-second looping music from Unforgiving Cold starting up. I could feel my heart sink as I came across this horrible sight, which I don't remember if I actually put in the screens or not. It was a whole group of dead deer creatures covered in snow. Judging from the blackish blue tone of their skin, they must have all frozen to death. On closer inspection, some were missing body parts. Now I was frightened, but I still had to keep going.
Of course you did.
Wow, spook.
I walked away for 15 minutes until I saw something. Wasted 10 years of my life playing through NES Godzilla hundreds upon hundreds of times. I didn't say it
Yeah,
wasn't
pretty much.
messy. I'm the right one, end of story. Whatever
Before
helps you sleep
exiting,
at night.
before exiting the level, I was really hoping to see something resembling the previous forest animals in a living state, because I need you to understand, reader, how much I care about these, what I might as well just call kaiju OCs at this point. And and sure enough, I did.
It was a creature much like the big sloth, except this thing had white fur and was more of a beaked gorilla.
Oh, wait.
What?
There's a pretty big mistake there. He never actually addressed the sloth.
You're right. I'm beginning to think this story has some writing problems.
Ha! Called you out, author, you fat asshole.
Beginning to think. It's a good one.
You think the story has no point? It's just meant to be pretty visuals?
Later, the father. Take it easy.
Have fun doing your shit.
Later. It was walking very slowly when I saw it, but I was happy to at least see something alive. However, it didn't stay that way for long. A pack of hairy raptors, who must have sensed that something else was still alive, came rushing in from the right side of the screen. The beaked gorilla didn't stand a chance, as one of the raptors immediately lunged at it and ripped its back legs open. These
You
ripped
said
its back.
back legs. It looks like he's just like slashing his ass open.
These winter raptors acted far different from their tempered relatives. While the other raptors only attacked while hunting prey or when provoked, these winter raptors seemed to have all gone insane. They attacked everything in sight. One was running back and forth, clawing at nothing. Even the noises they made sounded different, more high-pitched and enraged. As I left this second segment, I even saw two raptors fighting to the death. They were both covered in injuries, as one of the raptors had been blinded in one eye. I took the screenshot, but I didn't say to see who won the fight. How is this even being processed on an NES? These are too much for colors and too much animations. Like, the system should be overloaded by now.
There's only one logical conclusion to what the author is seeing here, and that is Velociraptor Wendigos.
Right. Of course.
Someone make that B movie, please.
Okay,
I will pay $2 whole to watch it.
okay, got the NES theory, guys. The reason why all this is like screenshots is because he actually did film with a capture card, but because it was so labor intensive like on the NES and its memory, it lagged like hell and it was just like a bunch of still images.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I only had to get through one more segment before I could go back to the board screen. But in this segment, I was no longer in the winter forest, but instead a very empty, grassy plain, with a bright gray that's not gray. With a bright gray moon in the sky, the pleasant music of Winter Forest Part 1 had returned. And
You remember that song, don't you?
Oh, yeah, see, they actually used the song in a movie I saw once. See, back in 1989, there was this movie called The Wizard. And immediately,
Never gets old.
I started to feel dread. Just like everyone else when I go back into my wizard rant. This is going to sound crazy. No way. Not you. But it's the absolute truth. The game made this level from one of my memories. Manny is not amused.
Oh, don't worry, you're going to get a lot less amused real fast here.
Christ.
Oh,
After
Last stream when Bioman was like, oh yeah, you should leave off here because the thing hasn't happened yet. This is the thing.
After a long stretch of nothing, what, your life? I reached a lake. And then the moon moved down from the sky. Tidal activity was surging around the world. Hundreds of thousands died in minutes. And began to... I'm sorry, what?
And begin to hatch like an egg.
And begin to hatch like an egg. When it did, a curled up humanoid figure fell into the lake as the moon halves quickly disintegrated. I hate you. Whoever wrote this, I hate you so much. Anyway, that's 3 from me. Your turn, Mike.
I heard a splash when it hit the water, then a moment of silence. Then the screen began to shake, and a new creature emerged from the water. This big Metroid-looking thing. And thus I was introduced to a monster I call the Moon Beast. This was the only screenshot I took, as I was focusing all my concentration on winning the fight, and it was the most difficult fight yet.
Went
Stronger
straight to the final boss.
Straight to the final boss. Stronger than any of the previous bosses, this creature would have been hard to take down with Godzilla, and with Mothra, it seemed nearly impossible. I suppose I would consider myself fortunate that the beast lacked any attacks like Gigan's Saw, because if it had, I would never have won this. What do you mean lacked if it lacked attacks, how was it hard to fight?
I think he means specifically like Gigan's Saw.
Gotcha. If only I knew what Gigan's Saw actually did.
It cut wood. Gigan was actually a carpenter.
I barely had 3 bars of health when I finally killed this abomination. But what happened afterward is hardly what I could call a reward. Have fun, Raptor.
oh. I've been trying to keep my promise and suppress this memory. For years it seemed as if I have got to get it off my chest.
Wait, what promise? What is he talking about?
You'll
I
see.
don't know. This has been a very painful memory for me. But the game already knows about it, and I think you should too, because I'm pretty sure you totally care about my private and personal life. I'll just tell you the important parts because I don't like bringing this experience back into my head unless I have to, which is why you're telling us this in this fucking Godzilla creepypasta. Back in middle school, I had a girlfriend named Melissa. You never had a girlfriend, you fucking liar.
Okay, this is getting uncomfortably relatable.
I'm going to assume it's going to get less relatable in a minute.
She suffered from some kind of mental disorder that caused her to get into episodes.
I mean,
when she was
diagnosed with anything, but she had episodes, alright. I called it bitchiness.
Got her. When she was in an episode, she would stand perfectly straight and still. Her face would instantly lose any expression she had before. She would.
This does sound like my ex when she was pissed off at me.
Uh-oh. Did you write this story?
No.
Are you sure?
No.
He would speak very clearly without any hint of emotion. When it was over, she would start trembling and sometimes bury her face in her hands and remain silent for several minutes. I can't really convey the feeling it gave me in words, and I won't try. You have to see this in person to understand.
Yeah,
Uh,
Kay can confirm this was my ex.
but despite this, she was a very kind person,
Okay, not
and
anymore.
I cared about her dearly. We liked to hang out in a field at night and look at the stars. But one night she didn't say anything to me at all. She just stared directly at the moon, trembling. I tried to talk to her, but she suddenly sprung up and ran into traffic. I tried to stop her, but it was too late. She was hit by a truck and was killed that night.
Fucking what? And
Went from
yes,
0 to 100 real fucking quick here.
yeah, Kay confirmed. I had a girlfriend named Melissa. You never had a girlfriend, you fucking liar.
Mm.
I looked her right in the eyes when the wheels went over her neck. Jesus. That sight has always haunted me. So what does this have to do with the game?
Literally the next sentence will tell you.
I know that the game knows about this because after I defeated the Moon Beast, this happened.
We're gonna have some images back to back here.
Melissa,
You
kill yourself. Jesus.
kill 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 lots of kills. Kill.
Hey, Cam.
Hey.
What the fuck was that?
Hey, Cameron.
What did I just read?
So either this game killed his middle school girlfriend before he had this game, or it can read his mind. I'll let you decide.
Alright. Chapter 5, Part 2. Whose turn is it to read?
I think it's me.
Have at it.
After that, the game went back to the board screen. It was all I could do not to burst out screaming, and my hands were shaking so bad I could barely hold the controller. I knew the game was going.
That's diabetes kicking in.
Too much Mountain Dew. He's got the caffeine fix. I knew the game was going to test me if I kept playing, but I had no idea it would go so far, or that it was even capable of doing what it just did. I could feel my brain going haywire as I asked myself, "Can the game just read my mind?" That didn't seem possible. But what other explanation was there?
It was then that I could no longer deny what now seemed obvious. I have to read this next line. Oh my god. This game is alive. Go fuck yourself.
Dun dun dun.
Hey. Oy vey. Oy vey.
And not only that, it also can establish some kind of mental connection with the player.
I.
And yet, I can't convince myself to stop playing.
Because you have no life. You have no life.
I don't know.
You're a loser.
Game messing with. I don't know if it was the game messing with my mind, or just my stubborn curiosity. But even with the previous revelation, I really wanted to see this through to the end. Even more than I did before I beat Dementia. Okay, that can be really taken out of context. Man,
I did it. I cured dementia.
You know what amuses me? K, fuck you. Terrifying as it might be, even dangerous, I knew that if I quit playing, I would never be able to stop thinking about it. What? That doesn't make sense. If I tried to restart the game, it might go back to being normal again. How many people ever get to witness something like this firsthand? I mean, people witness other things like going out, socializing, having a life.
Witness things like grass, trees, the sky, your family that never sees you because you're just shut down in the basement the whole time.
Melissa was really a
The
tube
inside of
sock.
a shower. It's with a tube sock.
Really a tube sock stuffed with beans and drawn on with lipstick, wasn't it? I mean, yes, I'm going to say yes, and I hate this guy even more because I have now headcanon that he ruined beans like that.
What's your least favorite
Steven's
kind of
dead.
bean? It can be that kind of bean.
Black beans.
Full of black beans.
Or is it lima? I can't decide.
To be fair, I'd be very surprised if this sweaty white neckbeard gamer bought black beans.
Ha!
Eh,
I get it because gamers are racist. This next fucking line. Terrifying as it might be, even dangerous, I knew that if I quit playing. you, you fucking pussy! I would never be able to stop thinking about it. If I tried to restart the game, it might go back to being normal again. Oh.
I've broken you.
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
Fucked up as it was, this was the experience of a lifetime. You are pathetic.
I just got to relive my middle school girlfriend's tragic accidental death. Experience of a lifetime.
Everyone here knows how much I love World of Warcraft. Even I would be like, I couldn't stop playing. I mean, all my, let's say we had BeanCon finally, and it was here where I lived. I would be like, even though all these people I've been dying to meet in person are finally here, I couldn't stop playing. It was the experience of a lifetime. No, I'd be like, oh, fuck this game. I'm going to spend time with these people.
Either that or you just make us all play WoW at BeanCon.
Just like tape your hands to keyboards and mouses, duct tape you to chairs, like clamp your eyes open. Now
Like,
to the raid!
Some awful, human centipede, but instead of doing surgery on us, just put us in desks and chairs and force us to play WoW.
Play!
Add the roll.
Heal!
Add the roll. A gamer drug.
Lame.
Tank better, Mike! Tank better! Wow, LAN party. Oh my god. Yeah, my friends actually set up a WoW LAN party at my house once.
Nice.
I did not
How was it?
participate.
Oh.
Because the plan was, there was a show I wanted to watch that night, and the plan was that we were going to watch the show and then do the party, but they decided to set up in the middle of the show, and after that, they wouldn't turn down their volume or stop talking while the show was on, so I just kicked them out. Because I was angry.
Like a ton of fun. Not really, not at all.
To be fair, one of them eventually got so obsessed with the game that one night, it was like 2 in the morning, and she was there with me and our other friend, and we're like, okay, it's really late, guys, I'm going to bed. We can talk tomorrow. She was like, so, oh, I'm in the middle of something. I'll leave soon and I'll lock the door behind me. I was like, no, you're leaving now. And she's like, no, I gotta finish this. Like, she was dead serious.
Grabs an extension cord and sits on your front lawn with her computer and finishes whatever she's doing. Like, the Wi-Fi still reaches to the yard. Even so, I couldn't take any chances with my health. Well, from how we've described this guy, I think he's taken a lot of chances.
Come on, take one more. What's the harm in that?
I don't take any chances with my health. I eat a McDonald's salad twice a week. I had the TV remote right next to me, ready to turn the TV off in case I felt I was in actual danger.
Oh my
And if that
god.
didn't work, I would pull the plug out of the wall, or just run out of the room.
No, notice until the end there, like, actually moving is his last resort. It's like, just things I can do sitting on my fat ass.
Yeah, the power strip, the like circuit, the off switch for the power strip is right next to his left foot. You can just cut the power by stepping on it.
Oh no, remember though, he has to like flail his leg because he can't move it from the knee down.
Yeah.
Yes, Kay, it was Big Head. It was Nya Girl.
Of course it was. Also, I know we've addressed this before in part 1, but TV screenshots.
Yeah. Actually, Cam, she was just running around in the same path that she had set, like farming. I think she was mining.
I know you're talking about her activities in WoW, but now I'm just picturing her running in circles around your living room in the same path. Like, no, I just need to finish this. Yeah, girl, you're wearing out the carpet.
See, I could believe that, except she was never that physically active.
Alright, so shuffling back and forth from side to side.
Pretty much.
Whatever powers the quote-unquote game has, it seemed to be confined to what it can show on the TV, and whatever its mental connection could do. The latter was what worried me. I still didn't know what I was dealing with, so I wasn't about to underestimate it. I took a break for a few minutes to calm my nerves, and then it was back to the game.
TVs, there was a TV screen icon right below the white forest I had just left. And because the first animation was so bizarre, I figured to try another one to see what happens. Although I expected the same animation, I got a totally different one, featuring me explaining why Atari sucks. Weird. The music for this one was the Neptune board music. Fitting, I suppose, since it's like a fishman and all. But I can't help but wonder what the point of these things are. There was one more TV screen icon. So I figured it must have a unique animation of its own. I was going to make sure to see it, so I can see what it was before I left Entropy. But anyway, it's time for another level. The gold brick icon was the closest thing, so I went to that. And I started up in a gold labyrinth level.
Yeah, as Kay said, we called Nya Girl Sloth for a reason. She was freaking farming? Jesus, woman, just give it a rest for a few hours. If you need mats that pad, get them on the auction house. That was much more expensive back in the day, Cam. Featuring my last 2 brain cells. My health and power were refilled. Not sure how or why, but I was glad not to be heading into the unknown, you jackass. Nearly dead. I also noticed that my Mothra sprite had shrunk to half its original size. The music was a slow, ominous drum beat. Don't you mean drum-like instrument beat? With female vocals kicking in about a minute into it. quite
Ba
haunting.
ba. So it's like
Female.
the Mario. So it's like Super Mario, like the new Super Mario games with the acapella things, like coming every few minutes or so. Am I saying
Yeah,
that right?
it's like the new Mario games with Mario Odyssey and the song in Mario Odyssey with female vocals.
And I was thinking that like the new Super Mario Bros. Games, as in the series, not like a new Mario Bros. Games.
Yeah, but that was more ridiculous.
And that was catchy. It was fun.
But if it were playing in this game, this quote unquote horror game,
And I kind of forgot how it went. So one up, one up, one up, Mafua.
I think it went.
One up.
Michael, this story has killed my brain cells. Are you proud? Because I'm proud of you for this, Mike.
I'm ecstatic.
The Gold Labyrinth itself was an anomaly. I'm not sure how this level would have been played out if I was using Godzilla or Anguirus. Probably not. You probably couldn't. Because flying seemed necessary just to get around this place.
Maybe that's why they had you stuck as Mothra, so you could play this level. It's a little something we like to call game design. Another thing that caught my attention was when you go left, your monster actually turns and faces the left. Wow, spook.
Like, can I take over my lines for a little bit?
Sure.
I need to do something.
I expect to see, like, 2 hours from now, person of little renown on the internet for writing the story NES Godzilla found murdered.
Wait, Raptor, did you say, can I take over your lines, or can you take over my lines?
I think he left.
Got it. I think that answers my question then.
You see, like, a crime scene photo, you just see, just a bit of raptor walking out of the room. What the fuck? Mike, if you can hear me, you're just coming through as static. Um... Fuck! Godzilla got Mike. Yeah, it sounds like it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do not jack off your mic.
I may have stepped on the cord and somewhat unplugged it.
Oh, Jesus.
So I apologize. Yeah, I was zapped by the blood laser. That's exactly what happened. The raptor leaves and everything goes to shit. What's the last audible thing that I said?
I don't remember.
Rip all the mics and their mics. I'll just start this paragraph over then. Or we could just wait until Raptor gets back and be like, no, we didn't carry on without you. You need to suffer too. Another thing.
This is what rolling off into the blood sounds like.
Oh no.
Yes, Mike coming live from under blood.
Very warm down here. Another thing that caught my attention was that when you go left, your monster actually turns and faces the left. That sounds stupidly obvious, yes it does.
No, you don't say.
But in the original game, you were only supposed to move to the right, so when you tried to move left, your monster ended up walking/flying backwards. Okay, yeah, for a game that was made in the 80s, I do believe that.
Yeah.
They needed that, like, they didn't have enough memory for the sprite to be mirrored. This level was apparently gigantic in size, because every time I thought I had reached an end to it, or thought I was going to end up back where I started, I encountered something totally new. Things like lava blockades, new enemies, and statue faces.
Wow.
Amazing. And so there's like 3 or 4 images in a row
Oh, wait.
on the wiki.
It's a labyrinth. Mazing.
Send yourself to fun jail. I found one statue face at a dead end with a wide, open-eyed stare. The night Melissa died, she had an expression on her face that looked exactly like this the whole time.
What?
Even when she got hit by the truck, she still had that same expression. I can't help but feel like something is really staring at me from behind the screen when I look at this. Yeah, that's the one in the bottom of the screen. Hey, this is Mike reporting from downtown Blood. It's 98.6 degrees, and there's heavy road blood cell traffic. Back to you, Godzilla.
I really didn't want to be reminded of that night anymore. So you kept playing the game.
You don't want to be reminded of it. Stop putting it in the story.
That fucking face. So I left the statue almost as soon as I found it. You just took the time to take a picture first. I needed to find the exit anyway, which proved to be no simple task. I mean, not for a simple mind like yours. Felt like this level stretched on forever in all directions. I must have wandered around the level for at least 15 minutes before I finally saw something.
All directions. All 4 of them. Up, down, left, right. It's not Minecraft. It's like an infinite world.
I can't help but picture a ripped sock with baked beans spilling out. The face of absolute terror. It was a creature.
Oh no. The sock is ripped. It's not going to keep the cum in it now.
It was a creature that wasn't gold, seemingly the only one of its kind in the level. Lacking any kind of hover ability like the other creatures, it just walked back and forth on the platform. But it wasn't long after I found it that a flying machine swooped down and grabbed it, and then flew off with it. The machine apparently had not seen me, so I decided to follow it, to see where it was taking the creature.
The machine stopped at a room with a large cauldron-like object in the center. The machine hovered over to the cauldron and dropped the creature into it. The creature emerged. Oh my. From a hole in the cauldron's side, now adorned in the same gold color as everything else. The machine flew off. I'm not really sure what to make of this, but I'm glad I came upon it because I found the exit soon after. You know what? I'm not sure what to make of this either. When I got back to the board...
Cam is sending you to unforgivable jail.
Yeah, I can do that. When I got... I just realized that I can't do that and read at the same time. Boom. When I got back to the board, I realized that the bosses hadn't moved at all. Are they supposed to do that?
I don't think so.
A bit odd, but it didn't bother me. It made planning my route through Entropy easier. There were still two new icons to explore. The Indigo Cliffs, which sounds like a Pokemon area, and a black version of the labyrinth.
He hated that version.
Of course.
Imagine a middle school aged boy crying in the street over a ripped sock with a face drawn on it dripping with brown sugar bean juice screaming, Melissa!
I think I like this version of Melissa better.
Yeah. Since there were only 3 black labyrinth icons, which were surrounded by bosses, I played the Indigo Cliffs first.
It's a shame that we don't know exactly how many icons are on the board, because there's a chance that that could be 13% of the board icons.
And yet also half of them. Paradox.
Paradox.
It was a lot like the blue-green mountains. The level graphics had the same shredded look to it. There's also fucking 10 swaps. There's also a recolor of the clouds and moon from the toxic waste dump. The music, if you can call it that. Oh, are we talking about I don't know.
Yoko Ono.
Yeah, that was merely a deep rumbling noise. One of the first things I encountered were these multicolored creatures with big heads emerging from a small cave in the ground. And a woman on her porch screaming, "Get in the house, Jeremy, you're an embarrassment."
An army of Nia girls coming out. They all made a synchronized shaking sound, whatever that sounds like, and they walked to the right in a group after emerging from the cave, ignoring me.
And these are the things from Princess Mononoke.
Uh-huh. Having no other way to go, I followed them on their route. More and more emerged from the cave until the group had about 100 creatures. Or, about the 20 that you can fit on your NES screen. Eventually, the pathway ended in a cliff. I was shocked to see that upon reaching the cliff, all the creatures began jumping off into the abyss. Whee! I've seen enemies walk off cliffs before, but I've never seen NPCs commit mass game end in Minecraft like this. Very unsettling way to start off a level.
They were maracas. I continued on, flying over various strange animals like the ones shown here. Another group of multicolored bobbleheads was jumping up and down, only to be snatched up by large birds, which I'm fairly certain are sprite versions of the giant condor from Godzilla vs. the Sea Monster. Alright.
Hey, Raptor.
I defeated some of the condors in battle, but it bothered me that these bobbleheads seem to be so eager to die. If the game itself is alive, oh, fuck off. Perhaps the creatures in these levels are also alive? I hate you so much. And some have very unhappy lives, if this behavior is any indication.
This game has the souls of lemmings trapped in it.
Eat a goddamn dick.
But what provokes them to do this? In the back of my mind, I almost suspect that the glowing moon in the sky is the reason. Dun dun dun.
Yeah, the fucking purple moon.
At the end of the level, I saw yet another group of the bobbleheads marching up to a large monster and being devoured. This was starting to disgust me, so acting on impulse, I fired off eye beams at both the monster and the bobbleheads. I destroyed the cave. I killed them all, not just the men, but the women and the children too.
God, go to unforgivable jail.
You want to take over, Raptor, or you still need us to cover?
Okay. We can't hear you, Raptor.
Moving on.
The monster became angry.
Oh, okay. The monster became angry and ran through the remaining bobbleheads to fight me. Although it lacked any ranged attacks, it was relentless. But it was no match for me.
There's no match
I
for
was
my
in
epic gamer skills. Yeah.
I was in the home stretch now, up to the bosses. My plan was to go through Bachelor first, then Megalon. After that, I would watch the last TV screen, play the Black Labyrinth, before fighting Mecha Godzilla. And lastly, going through the chase with the Hell Beast. I was curious to see what its new form would be this time. But first things first, time to beat up Bachelor.
As I expected, he started off in his larva form. The music was Varen's battle theme.
You mentioned that before in the last chapter.
Whenever the game puts in a new Godzilla kaiju with more than one form, that other form always shows up. For a game that's otherwise inexplicable, what? It's rather startling in its consistency and accuracy with the new kaiju bosses. The fight started off simple. Larva Batra fought in a similar fashion as Maguma did, changing back and forth and occasionally firing off lightning from its horn.
During the fight, I noticed that Mothra's combat capabilities had been altered in my favor.
Of course.
Number 1. The I-beams did 2x as much damage as they did originally. Now they were as strong as Godzilla's punches. The poison powder was similarly improved. It also did this nice thing where it would actually hit an enemy when you used it. 2. In the original game, even though Mothra could fly, she was unable to fly over an opponent. Okay, well, that's dumb. You would get knocked back the same way as if you just ran straight into them, which was extremely annoying. But not anymore. I could change direction and fly around, which was a big help because fighting Imago Batra is much like fighting a clone Mothra, although Batra is distinctly faster and stronger. Oh, so just exactly like in the movie. Wow, shocking. No longer impeded by its slow-moving larva form, Imago Batra was a fearsome opponent. The Mothra in the movie still defeated, but no, I guess Mothra's weak sauce or something. Stupid author.
Raptor.
Raptor?
Oh, I keep using focus. Uh, After defeating Bachelor, I was excited to see what Megalon would be like. But first I went through an Indigo's cliff level and shot through a lot of creatures with the health power-ups. So about Megalon, his music was Gigant's theme, yes we know. Makes sense since Gigant was his battle partner in Megalon's one and only film appearance. He was a lot like Magoria, but faster and with more weapons. He started He started charging off cliffs with his drills. Charging off with his drills. Sorry.
Come from?
I like to fly back and forth around him, which seemed to really annoy him. After a few seconds, he stepped back, turned around, and started spitting out grenades. Those were a pain because they bounce when they hit the ground.
Fun fact about the American cut of Godzilla vs. Megalon. When it was shown on TV, it was bookended by segments of John Belushi in a Godzilla suit making jokes.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. And I wish those were still on the internet. I wish those were like on the internet. That sounds hilarious.
It's got to be out there somewhere. Like if they ever do a Criterion release of the full Showa series, they've got to include that. But I don't think they will.
Naturally, they
That's a
have
huge part of why people, especially in America, are like, "Oh yeah, Godzilla can't be like kid stuff." Anyway,
Lastly, he started spamming his lightning beam. It only went straight forward, so it was easy to duck under it and then shoot him with I-beams. Overall, I describe him as a strong, persistent, but dumb. Why are strong, persistent, and dumb capitalized? I was now nearing the end of Entropy. I had just taken down Megalon, and I started up the last TIV screen. Yeah, TIV because the V is not capitalized this time. To see what I get this time. The result was unpleasant. What the fuck is this?
it's more Silent Hill, I assume.
It is. I mean, similar at least.
This is what happens when you get sent to a horny death row. Get the one final bonk. The music for this gruesome scene was the password theme. That means so much to me. Fucking riveting. I couldn't figure out why this animation was so sinister and violent in comparison to the other two. The whole game seemed to be growing more malevolent. Ooh.
Fucking spooky eye.
As I went on to finish Entropy, I began to feel drained. I know the fucking feeling.
What, because you went a half hour without eating?
Because we've gone for 2 hours reading this. It's hard to describe. Like I had suddenly became tired when I wasn't before. Most likely it was just the tension from all that had happened in the game getting to me, or my hypertension, but who knows? The last level type on Entropy is what I call the Shadow Labyrinth. The scenery was recolored from gold to black. The music was an evil ambiance, similar to the Unforgiving Cold loop, but distinctly different.
Sorry. The music was my first sign that this level was going to be distressing. I traveled through the maze for about a minute, and I noticed there weren't any creatures hovering around. It was an odd transition from the Gold Labyrinth, which was overrun with enemies, to this that had not at all. But then this might be a good thing. Maybe there wouldn't be any obstacles, and I could get through this level with ease. Then the screen went dark, and immediately I snapped out of my daze from a few seconds earlier. Everything had darkened, so the only thing I could see was the mouth was spread. I couldn't tell where I was going. I ended up frantically running into the walls. I heard a noise, the sound of a crowd running through a hallway.
Omitted the dark screen because I imagine you can all picture what a fucking black screen looks like.
Yeah. And along with the running came the roars. Loud roaring sounds, like I would describe as something like a rabid dog the size of an elephant. What? Screaming with fury. And I could tell that whatever was making this noise, there were lots of them. Right.
You know, a rabid dog the size of an elephant. You've seen that before. You've heard what that sounds like.
Clifford.
So I'm pretty sure rabies doesn't result in roaring. Dogs don't roar.
I knew there was something there, but it wasn't until I did some screen cap editing that I got to see what my pursuers looked like. It's the red raptors in black robes, I guess.
Sith raptors.
Raptors.
But at the time, I couldn't see where they were, or where
Raptor waves.
Yeah, they made a sniffing sound as they got close to me.
They tapped their big claw on the ground a couple times.
I was literally running blind, and this mob of beasts eventually caught up with me.
No, you were not literally running, you're flying. You're Mothra.
All I could think was, no! as I saw my life bar rapidly declining. The monsters had taken me down to half of my total health when I was saved. The light came back on, and the attackers had disappeared.
And so the challenge of this level was revealed. Find the exit before the lights go out and a pack of monsters maul you to death. I was in panic mode now, moving as fast as I could go while trying every path I could find for a way out. As I played through the level, the lights went out a total of 3 times. The second time, I would have been dead meat had it not been for one of the wide-eyed statues. Get that face. Fucking face.
Cameron says, lion roars. Author, is this a dog? Is this a dog the size of an elephant?
For test of patience. As I stayed close to it, the monsters seemed to all avoid me until the light came back. The statue warded them away somehow. I was safe as long as I stayed near the statue, but at the same time I had to leave to find the exit.
The Shadow Labyrinth turned out to be much smaller than the Gold Labyrinth, as it only took about 6 minutes to navigate to the end. But before the exit, there was a row of halls leading straight down, with no way out once entered. You either go to the exit before the monsters reach you, or you died. Thankfully, I made it out. Only one more boss, Mechagodzilla. I started the battle and got something unexpected. No, in your case, a heart attack is not unexpected. Not only did my life shoot back up to 100% again, it seems to do that randomly. Oh, how convenient. But instead of a replacement boss, I was fighting Godzilla.
Dun dun dun. Any Godzilla fan worth their salt can figure this out. Mechagodzilla started off like fighting a clone Godzilla, but his disguise burned away after only 3 life bars. Usually a transformation only occurred at the halfway point. Terrifying. At this point, it was like fighting Mechagodzilla in the normal game. Felt kinda nice to fight one of the original game enemies for a change. Although he wasn't exactly like normal, he also had a rainbow beam and finger missiles. This prevented me from doing the old trick of backing him into the corner and hitting with I-beams in a spot where he can't hit me, but that was always a cheap trick anyways. You guys know that trick, right, from all the times you played this game?
Oh, yeah.
No,
Like the infinite one-up trick in Mario Brothers? It's that iconic.
I know that, but I don't know the other one.
I'm fighting the urge to punch something. Yeah, you and me both.
Stop fighting it. Find something soft. You've got pillows. But after getting him down to half his health, something weird started to happen. His sprite started to glitch, in much the same way as Gazora had way back in the first world. After a few seconds, the glitches began to form a new shape.
Is this Robo Al Gore?
Robo-Turtle Al Gore with a shoulder cannon.
Yeah, okay, just find a stud in your wall that's actually the softest spot. You can basically just punch it. It's kind of squishy too, so you won't damage the wall. Just punch the stud as hard as you can. Do it.
Drywall gets a nice fun hole in it when you punch it. And then you can get some of the tasty wall candy out of it.
And thus, the game created not Mecha Godzilla, and I discovered that this visual glitch was somehow related to the game recreating things. The human face on this one gave a very uncanny look. It was one of the stronger replacement monsters. It had the most firepower, Picture here is its mouth beam, which I got caught in the middle of.
Not to be confused with the blood laser.
Even though it was a bit stronger, it was also slower than its original counterpart, and it couldn't jump around as much. I won the fight by constantly staying out of its line of fire, bombarding the machine with poison powder as I flew over it. One last thing to do. The Hellbeast chase. Oh boy. Might as well get this over with, I thought.
It actually says, "Oh boy."
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure not Mecha Godzilla could definitely take down Man Bear Pig.
Nothing can take down Man Bear Pig.
He's got a mouth laser. Or a mouth beam.
It doesn't matter. Man Bear Pig is half man, half bear, and half pig. I'm super serial, you guys. Let me give you advice that will send you straight to the ER based. Whose turn is it?
I think it's you.
The entropy end chase ended up being exactly what I was afraid it would be. A labyrinth level. I think my knuckles are broken. Well, that's your fault for not having any knuckle strength.
Goods have knuckles?
You're supposed... Have you been drinking your Mulk like I said? It has plenty of vitamin R. All the other chases, although difficult, were extremely straightforward. You just had to run to the right and not get touched.
Get it? Straightforward.
Ha. But this took all the simplicity out of it. There was no telling how big this labyrinth would be, or where the exit was. And now not only did I have to constantly backtrack to find my way out, I also had to avoid getting one hit killed by the red monster. And for those first 30 seconds, it didn't show up. But I knew it would. And as I started picking up the pace, I heard a loud flapping noise. Okay.
And there it was.
Supposed to be afraid or...
Yeah. Flapping. Pretty scary. You ever seen any of those videos from the 1920s? Flappers? Fucking shit your pants. Terrifying.
Ha.
Although thankfully those are all silent films. It might just be like scary enough to kill you if they had sound.
Whoa, spook.
Wow. And there it was, in a quote-unquote flying form. It flew with bat-like wings, and was as fast and relentless as ever.
Was it fast as a leopard?
It was. I dare say it was even too fast for the naked eye. Flying red, the
Is
fastest
that
thing
fast
alive.
as Lightning McQueen?
Kerchoo.
Ka-chow.
Kerchoo.
Figure.
I just loved last night. Kerchoo, Kerchoo, Kerchoo. No!
What did you expect?
Everyone should know by now, if you post Lightning McQueen, that's going to be the result.
Can that be added to the server rules? Or is that
Yes.
just a
Yes,
truth?
I'm going to do that as soon as we're done.
Perfect.
Okay.
For reasons already stated, this was probably the most nerve-wracking of all the quote-unquote end chases. And as such, I had to keep my focus on the game and not taking screen caps from my TV. However, I did take one of the red monster doing something I found very interesting. I had managed to lose it by going through a different path than it apparently expected, and it was blocked from attacking me by one of the organic walls of the red labyrinth. Or so I thought.
You haven't had
Have you guys ever seen that little-known movie Alien from 1979, where the creature's got the mouth in the mouth and uses the mouth inside the mouth to hit stuff, bite stuff? Me neither.
I'm sorry, that's too obscure.
Doesn't ring a
Yeah.
bell to me.
Yeah, I think this was an original idea that the author had.
Yeah.
Either that or Ridley Scott's about to sue him.
Or Ridley Scott wrote this.
No, this would be good if Ridley Scott wrote it.
Have you seen Prometheus?
Shh. Let's not go there.
tried clawing through the wall for a second before opening up its mouth and tearing the wall apart with the intestine jaws.
Tried clawing through the wall a second? Oh, just like that hooker I have in my basement.
You want to get the low irritant, no smell kind of raid. Spray about 6 cans of that down there. I want to use up.
Yeah. But those brief milliseconds that the monster was held back might have been the key to helping me find the exit. The path to the exit was long and complex, but from what I remember, I went up and then back towards the left. I'm still not sure why I chose that particular way. Just a lucky hunch, I guess. Shrug emoji.
Back into the left. Back into the left.
Make sure you remember that for if you ever play this game. The way to beat this level is to go back and to the left.
It's to JFK your way out.
Post this on GameFAQs.com.
I was sweating profusely, not because I was scared, but because I was a fat fuck. But my luck had saved me yet again. I hoped that I would run out before I finished the game. There was only 2 worlds to go. The next ultimate world was called Ixtasu. And that's the end of this. That's the end of the chapter.
Oh, sushi, a sun chop.
Oh no. I don't want to be cancelled.
Oh no, Kyle, I am sorry, but I want to eat the cuttlefish.
Oh no.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kyle. I tried to resist, but burrito is a true delicious.
Oh no, oh no. Oh no.
I believe in you!
Oh dear. These are just jokes.
We're just quoting a show.
This is actually real? Damn, I feel bad for you. Like, pray for you bad. This is so fucked up. Like, I can't actually believe it.
Alright, Kyle, you want me to eat the cuttlefish and asparagus, or the vanilla pesto?
In the South Park.
You say cuttlefish and asparagus? Okay, I'm just making sure. So that does it for chapters 4 and 5 of this.
4 and 5 part 1 and 5 part 2.
What pieces of shit. I hate this story now.
What do you mean now?
That's what I was thinking, but now, like, I was at the meme of the woman looking confused with all, like, the equations around her. Oh my god, the next chapter has even more images. Have fun with that, Mike.
At least I know to not start doing them like at 10:30 at night the night before. Nokia touchscreen, 4/26/2017. I mean, this isn't even vaguely scary. It's some nerd writing about a Godzilla game he wants to play but isn't bright enough to make. Which one of you is Nokia touchscreen?
Hi.
Response: Godzilla, 1L, comes over and destroys, one word, your house.
Your hoose. What is the... It's a fucking Canadian. Oh, your hoose. It's got a moose.
There's a moose in my house.
It has some juice.
Alright, that sounds like a children's book, actually. There's a moose in my house.
Oh, the train's about to leave. Jump on the caboose.
A moose. I'm translating this for the Polish pasta wikia. Alright, we got some annexation to do.
Leave a comment.
I can stop reading comments. I think you guys have suffered enough.
I was just trying to make sure. But no seriousness, I feel kind of drained right now.
Yeah, I mean, we're over 2.5 hours at this point, and I don't blame you for feeling drained, because that was a bit of a slog.
We made some very offensive comments about the writer being an obese fuck.
I mean, they say the best defense against slander is proving the truth. And I don't have any evidence to suggest that these comments are false, necessarily.
Oh my god. Okay, Nokia touchscreen once again. Even for this wiki, this is the stupid shit I have ever read. The Timeless Hero. You serious? Darling damnable. Oh, shut the fuck up. Oh my god. This comment made me laugh. This stupid shit is legendary. Go fuck yourself, kid. Let's see you try to rate a creepypasta of such quality. Not sure how well that'd turn out, to be honest, since you can't even seem to remember to capitalize your eyes. Or, you just didn't give a shit. And full
It,
stops, periods, whatever you call them, seem like a foreign concept to you. Go home, kid. No, you're projecting out. You're the dumb kid here. You don't belong here.
is that the hill you want to die on with all the mistakes we found in this story?
You don't belong here. I think you heard that a lot in high school, darling damnable. Well, this child sure is jealous, stupid as shit. I also wonder what age she learned that word. Lamau. Okay, shut up, poison with a 1. You just said Lamau, unironically. If you want to make creepypasta, it's not a problem. But here's a tip. The author putting in feelings is what makes a creepypasta creepy. No.
No,
What makes
it
a
isn't.
creepypasta is a horror story. The author or authors describing how she felt at a certain situation gives that convincing touch to keep reading. No, it does the opposite. Cobe has gone over this before. That's not adding to it. It's taking away by saying like, "Oh, this is how you're supposed to feel right now, guys,"
Yeah,
because it's so.
a well-crafted character or a well-written story should result in you feeling the way without having to be told that you're feeling that way.
Exactly. Just don't place retarded comments on a story that someone put all their effort into. Keep your thoughts to yourself. Take your own advice, kid. It's speaking of retarded comments, both darling damnable and poison. Get out of my neighborhood, person with better taste than me.
Anarchy Rock 666 with some dragon profile picture, all in lower caps. Not Mecha Godzilla. Looks like it was designed by Her Giger. Theory.
No, it's not.
This was a ROM hack made by Her Giger for some 8-bit art. Then he
No,
accidentally got it possessed by a demon that looks like the
no,
one he drew. Rip Her
no,
Giger.
no, no. Fuck you. Fuck you.
I mean, well, what do you expect from someone who likes anarchy, who thinks it's a viable concept?
Just reminds me of that one Wolvine, the YouTube clips. Like, oops, my anarchy symbol.
So funny.
Wait. I found some lazy editing. The 4th Dark Mage's image is just an edit of the 3rd one. Want to know why? Oh, I'm sure you're going to tell us, Super Nerd 295. If you look closely at the top left of the 4th image, there is some red splotches. Now, if you look at the top left of the 3rd image, exactly where on the Black Raptor thing is, it matches up perfectly. And then Trial Man says, he literally says, I did some screen cap editing, so I doubt that an edited screen cap should be surprising. Except, again, as we've pointed out numerous times, in the story he says he's playing this on his TV. How is he screen capping anything?
I didn't suggest that. Like he was like recording the whole thing via capture card, but the sheer power of it is causing it to lag like shit.
Like I believe that maybe that's something that could have happened, but is that written in the story? No.
No,
No.
it's just my
We
game
shouldn't we
theory.
shouldn't have to patch
My
up these
game
holes.
theory. Thanks for watching.
First
Thank you.
creepypasta I'm reading, and it's awesome.
Sad. Sad. Sad.
Well,
How sad.
Pupil Lenkerber, I'm sorry to say you're an idiot. Super Nerd 295 is back with a response. This is 70th I have read, and you're lucky also this is my second time reading. Get a life. And Brewdog 1488, same here!
Urethra Extreme. When I saw the first golden face wide-eyed, I yelled, "Holy shit!" I wasn't expecting it at all, so it scared the shit out of me. The black one, not so much. This guy is not an epic gamer.
Let me see, okay. Goten Go Mantango.
Nerd.
I have a theory of Melissa, and before you reply me with angry comments telling me that this does not have to do with the story or the TV screen, after the scientists play the game in the Transcendence Project, what the fuck are you talking about? A reference to Godzilla replay. Go fuck yourself.
I think what they're talking about is kind of like the Jeff the Killer 2015 to this story, or something like that. Some fan sequel, or
Melissa
I think
happened to get the cartridge, and when she's seen the red monster, it really terrified her and attacks Melissa in her dreams, leading her to suicide. And after she died, her spirit was transported to the game. She would be trapped in the game until Zack replayed the game. Commas, periods, learn them, you mongoloid.
And capital letters.
Yeah. Then Kigam4390 replies, the way I know you've read this before you commented like me is that you use Zach's name. It only says that in the last two. Spoilers! Jeez, you asshole.
I don't know, our friend Super Nerd seems to think it also happened in the first chapter. I don't remember.
Yeah, neither do I. And
Okay, get fucked. All these people, get fucked.
CDR Zilla Fanon says, yeah, the theory that Melissa was involved in the Transcendence Project has been going around for a while. I hate you all.
I have not read and do not care to read this Transcendence Project, what Godzilla replay thing, but I can tell you with confidence that is not how you spell transcendence. That's transcendence, which sounds like a like Euro electronica group from the 90s.
Melissa is a sock. The comment gives me Sonic EXE2 vibes, yeah.
American Bajan or Bajan. The screen caps you have make the story all the more interesting, since they make it seem like it really happened. So far, 40 out of 5. You know what? Don't even blow me. You don't deserve it.
McFish Cake. Here's how this chapter works. Statues in the temple? I mean, half of your sentence was a statement, the second half was a question. God. Melissa trying to save you. You would have Earl likely guessed it. I sometimes referred to creature as it or red, would use the intestine jaw or extended jaw or something like that. Also, Mecha Godzilla with rainbow lasers. What if?
And Evil Kitty has the right. I hate to say Evil Kitty has the right point, but they do. Yeah, the Showa Mecha Godzilla had a rainbow laser beam.
Yeah.
That was his thing, along with being magnetic. Or no, wait, no, he wasn't. Was he magnetic? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
He had like finger missiles, toe missiles, knee missiles. He had a lot of missiles. It was really fucking cool.
Toe missiles. Doge really liked that attack.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, well. You guys in the chat have let us know just how much you love this story.
By the fact that there's one of you here, which might be me reading the chat on my phone.
Oh. So, who knows when we'll finally finish this?
If and when, we'll let you know.
I mean,
Surely.
we are going to. I just don't know when. Like,
We need some time for the brain cells to grow back.
As you can tell, my streams lately have been very inconsistent, not on schedule. I'm trying to fix that, but we'll see. So, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
We should try doing a watch party tomorrow or something. I don't know.